Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit of a fun video because I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I take photos and what my view looks like when I take photos for a check-in or a check-out of a vehicle. And the reason why I'm doing it in my garage is because oftentimes you will find that maybe you're in a space that is a little bit snug and it's hard to sort of step back and get the angles that you need, which is also why I always recommend the iPhone 11. I have the iPhone 11 Max, so the larger one. It has the best wide angle lens. I could literally be standing right here and I can capture the entire front end of my car when I use that wide angle. So it really comes in handy when you find yourself in those tight spaces. Also, the other feature that I absolutely love that's been a game changer for me for when it comes to doing taking photos for Turo has been the night mode. The night mode is phenomenal, especially when cars come back at night, because if there is damage, you want to make sure that you have proper lighting. If something happens and you go through the claims process and you took photos at night and the lighting wasn't very good, your claim could get denied because the damage is not visible. So I'm not sponsored by Apple or iPhone or in any way, shape, or form. This is just a recommendation that I have because it's been such a game changer for me. I don't know on the Android end of things if there is a phone that is compatible. I'm sure that there is. Probably a Samsung, maybe the Note 20, I believe. That's the latest one. But I do have a Pixel with the newest Pixel actually, and it does not come anywhere near the capabilities of taking photos that this iPhone does. So I highly recommend it. Okay, so let's go take a first person view look at what the photos look like. Okay, so see, I'm using the 0.5 angle on my iPhone 11, and actually the distance between me, the car, and where the wall, where my garage ends, it's only about 4 feet, but it does not look like that when I'm taking the photos. So I'm getting every angle of the bumper. You saw that I got underneath the front bumper lip as well, because that is a common area of damage. You want a full clear shot of your wheel and your rim, because rims often get curb rash. And you see I'm taking really big full photos of each panel. That way I'm clearly getting photos of every area. Now, as you'll learn with your cars, some cars are unique. This one is a targa top, meaning this top comes off. And oftentimes, or not oftentimes, but sometimes people don't know how to store it. So sometimes that targa top can get damaged if somebody just left it on the floor or they dropped it. So that's why I take photos of that. Now, if you have a sunroof, then I would also advise taking photos of a sunroof or a soft top convertible, you know, just anything that could have the potential to get damaged, which is really any part of your car. You want to make sure you're taking photos. So you see this wide angle is really great because I'm actually in a tight spot between where my garage is and where the garage door is and where the car is. But with the wide angle, it looks like I have quite a bit of room there, but in reality, I actually don't. So again, I'm grabbing photos of the top from the other side. The Corvette has some pretty big pieces of glass between the windshield and the rear window, so I make sure that I always get really nice full photos of that as well, because you just never know. You can get lots of windshield photos because windshield damage does happen. And then let's do the interior. So I always make sure I get a photo of the interior of the door, just the panels getting in, your full seat, because you never know. You want to make sure you get your carpets. Now, this is great for documentation purposes, and it's also great because it shows how clean your car is, right? So if ever a car comes back and it's messy, you have proof. I'm taking a photo of the key because you'd be surprised. Sometimes things do happen to keys. So sorry for the Credit Karma email. Sometimes things do happen to the keys. One time I really did have a renter that said my dog ate my key, and the key literally came back chewed up. And so that was hilarious. And I was able to actually file for damage for that and get a replacement key. So it's always nice to, you know, make sure you have a photo of that key. So now let me open this trunk. Oops. What is going on with my trunk here? One second. There you go. Sometimes these Corvette trunks can easily eat your fingers. So I like to just take a photo of the trunk as well. you know, just in case. I've never had any issues, but it's always just a good habit to have. And I like to take a picture of the top part of the trunk also, because if people are loading bags in and out, sometimes that could get damaged. And you want to make sure that you're getting both sides of the exterior. Now, as you get to learn your cars over time, you'll figure out what the hot spots for damages are, and so you'll tend to take more photos of that area. Like for the Corvette, for example, it's usually the front, like right side of the bumper, the right corner, so I always take some good photos of that. And that's how you take photos for a check-in. Okay, you guys, so that's how you take photos when you are doing a check-in, and you sort of want to equally take photos on the checkout as well. But one more thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to do 3 separate videos after this one that is going to show you photos of some hot spots, like how to measure tire tread, why you need to take photos of the windshield in a certain way, and how to document the dash. I'm going to do those separately because I really want you to be able to digest those. But just to give you an idea, in 3 minutes, I took 81 photos of this car. So that's what you guys just saw. Now, 81 photos is definitely on the high side, but it just goes to show you how quickly you can do this and how well you can document the car. And if I'm being 100% honest, I went slow so that you guys can really see the photos that I'm taking. But usually I do that in about half the time. So now let's go take a look at some of the other things that I take photos of that you have to take photos of before a car goes out on a trip. Very important, very crucial. So let's go look at it.